Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We have our last top 10 monthly report for the year. It is the December edition of the top 10 games on Wax, according to me, Warrior Line. This is based on my personal opinion of the games that I think are the most entertaining, have the best future, just are the best games that are on Wax right now. And we count from the 10 all the way down to number 1. I also added a few honorable mention bonuses ones, just in case the ones on the top 10 aren't exactly what you like. I wanted to give a few additional options of good games that just barely missed the top 10, whether they slid out of the top 10 or they're on the way back to the top 10. So again, I must stress that this is not based on volume. This is not based on bot-controlled games. This is not based on the click-to-earn style games. This is my personal opinion, games that I think are entertaining, that are the best. So if you don't agree to it, let me know in the comments down below. What games did I miss? How would you reorder it? Let me know those details. And I do have to say there is a shakeup in the top 10 rankings. November was a very, very, very big month for Wax. There was a lot of launches during that, and it has impacted the top 10. You'll see a lot of familiar faces, but they aren't in familiar places. So let's go ahead and dive into it. In order to be on the list, let me put the caveat on there. The project has to be launched and available to play. I'm not talking about concept games. I'm not talking about launching here in the very near future. I'm talking about games that you can actually jump in and play them, because you want to be able to see the actual gameplay. A lot of games promise certain gameplay, and it doesn't work out. So that's why we wanted to stress on that. Games like Avalon, I know I'm going to get the couple people that watch this video say, why is Avalon, the game Avalon the Droids, not on the list yet? Alpha's not launched yet. I highly encourage you to take a look at this one, but it's not launched, so I can't put it in the top 10. I have a feeling if they release what's promised, it'll be on the top 10 list next month. So we'll go ahead and skip over Avalon right now, and let's go ahead and dive right into the honorable mention ones. Here we start with Waxel, and Waxel was on the top 10 months and months ago. Slid off because of it being mostly a click-to-earn style game with the current form. Obviously, we know they're developing additional items, but their new release of Waxel Rush is a fun skill-based game that's very entertaining. It's a fun little game. It's not a long game that you're going to spend an hour on. You're going to spend maybe a few minutes. You're going to run through the death fields, watching out for the throwing stars. It's a good little entertainment addition to the Waxel brand. So that's why I wanted to include it on the honorable mentions. Next on the list is Zombie Outbreak Survival. They were also a very click-to-earn game, which is the reason why they have not been on the list and are just reaching the honorable mention now. They added an expansion, Era 3, that launched this past weekend, that added some additional strategy style atmosphere to it. So they continue to add on to it, and if they continue to add on the more of a gameplay entertainment style, I can see this one making it on the top 10 list in the next few months. Next on the list, as far as the honorable mention goes, is Prospectors. Prospectors, again, is a solid game that's been around for, a year and a half, 2 years. Solid, slow-paced game. And the reason it's not on the top 10 is it's too slow for me, personally. But there's a lot of cool features to it, and it's definitely entertaining for a lot of people. So I wanted to put it on the honorable mention list. And next one that we're going to talk about is one that's always on the honorable mention. Most people will have this on their top 10. The only reason I don't have it on my personal top 10 is I'm not a very good first-person shooter game. I don't enjoy them as much as some people. So that's the only reason it's not on my top 10. But it is a solid, good game. Something to definitely check out on the Wax blockchain if you like first-person shooters. That's why I wanted to make this right on the edge of the top 10. I guarantee if I had any interest in first-person shooter games, this would absolutely be a top 3 on my list. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the top 10. At the number 10 spot, actually has slid back and was on the edge, and I'm talking about the edge of falling off the list, and that's Million on Mars. And the only reason this has slid over the last few months is they've made a number of changes to it that have really hurt the economy and really hurt the way that a number of players look at the game. I still think it's a great strategy game that you can still have a lot of success at. You still have land. You still are able to do a lot of the strategic parts of it. So that's why it's still in the top 10 list. I'm hoping they kind of balance things out, because I feel like they've been nerfing a lot of stuff recently that has not made people super happy. So hopefully they find a balance here shortly and can continue to progress with the overall strategy. Number 9, it's moved up one spot, is the Adventures Guild. Again, this would be higher on my list. It is a Discord adventure style game. It's a neat concept. It's got a great story behind it, great team behind it, and the community is awesome. It's Discord based is the reason why I don't have it higher on my list. If they did make a web based format of it, I would probably be very much more interested in it. But I like the concept. That's why it comes in at number 9 on my list. And then we got number 8. Number 8 is a new addition. This is Outlaw Troopers by FGL. I think FGL in general is a great project team. They have a lot of cool games that connect very well to each other. I really got to test out Outlaw Trooper over the last month and a half. And I really enjoyed it. I like the seasonal aspect to it. They just completed season 1. Did very well, especially for the first season. You got to always remember the first season is a little tough because they're still trying to find their balance. But it kept me entertained. It kept me going. They have different aspects to it. It's definitely a game worth checking out because it mixes well with the other games under the FGL network. And I can imagine they're going to continue to develop. Great project team, good concept. I'm definitely excited to see what comes out as part of the game in season 2. Next on the list is Wombat. This is one that's a very beginner style game, a very easy to get into, very easy to understand game. They have entry points at all different levels. You can whale out or you can do just the bare minimum. It's a neat concept. They have a good project team that also provides utility as far as the Wombat wallet. So you know they're not just here to drop a game and run. I think they just finished season 6, going on to season 7 here shortly. I might be wrong in the numbers there, but it's a good solid game. I need to do a follow-up video on this. I did a video on this months ago. I think it was like season 2 or season 3. But I need to go ahead and do another video on this because I think it's a good game with a great team behind it. All right, moving on to number 6 on the list. This is Novopangea, and I wanted to highlight this. One of the best, if not the best, arts style on Wax right now. The cards are fantastic. I'm highlighting one of the Chapter 2 cards here, plus a number of the Chapter 1 cards here. Great art style, solid team. Really like the team behind it. I think this has a lot of potential once they get a token in place. Once we can start moving forward with the overall economy. They have residential buildings coming in here potentially on Monday, which will help the overall environment in the game. They're talking about a token. They're going to do an AMA on the token here in the very near future. I think once that token drops, I can see this one climbing up the list because it's got a lot of cool things behind it and a great project team itself. All right, then we go number 5 is Immersys. This is a familiar spot for Immersys. Solid 3D game on Wax. It's starting to get a little more competition with Farming Tales coming out with its new Wax Chester, with Avalon coming out with the Alpha here shortly. So it's getting a little more competition. But for a 3D space style game, it's really the only one that's available right now on Wax as far as the quality goes. Great project team. Easily number 5, top 5 on my list right now for Wax. They continue to add to it. Definitely check it out if you like the 3D grind style games, MMORPG style games. This is definitely one that you're going to want to check out. And now we're going to move to 4, and this is going to be a controversial one because I know I'm going to get some flack here in the comments. This is the first time in probably 10 months that I've been doing these lists that this one is not number 1. You know which one I'm talking about. It is Castles. Castles has slid from number 1 back to 4, and it's let me start off with the positive because I want to make sure that I highlight this. The dungeon expansion that they brought out here in November, I think was great. It's a great style of go out, loot, get different chests, earn, get equipment, customize your heroes. I think that's great. They did an awesome job with it. Is actually more than I expected for the dungeon drop. Unfortunately, they've had to make some adjustments with the economy within Castles. I want to make sure I highlight this. I completely understand why they did it, but I wish they would have approached it slightly different. That's my hesitation. That's the reason it's dropped back. It's gotten to the point where when we do certain actions in dungeons, it seems like more of a microtransaction style, which is unfortunate. Because I still really, really like the overall concept of castles. Heck, it's still in the top 4 on my list, so I still like it a lot. I just the changes to the economy here recently have kind of been a little bit unfortunate for the players themselves. Again, I understand why the project team did it. It's just the reason why it has slid back from number 1 back to number 4. I definitely think I could see it moving back to number 1 very easily. We just got to get past the initial shock of the microtransactions that are happening right now. But overall, still a great project. I still my top 4, still heavily into the game, just making some adjustments to it. All right, next, number 3, they just dropped new Waxchester, and it is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and ride around with the tractor just as I talk about this one. New Waxchester looks fantastic. I hope everybody has had a chance to jump in here. It is huge. There's a lot involved in it. They have both the solo or single player mode, which I'm in right now. And then they have, whoa, I'm not very good at the tractor driving. They also have the multiplayer mode where you can go in and right now go ahead and do tractor races. Eventually you're going to go ahead and be able to do other games. They're creating a very multiverse style new Waxchester, which is great. I wanted to slide over here and show you because they're bringing other games and other items into the basically other projects, bringing them together in a town where you can go ahead and get them all involved. Let's see if I can quick do it without tipping it. Nope, couldn't spin it. But they're doing a great job as far as New Waxchester goes, bringing a lot of teams in there. They're continuing to keep the farming style, the farming atmosphere when you're on your farm to go ahead and harvest. Then you can go ahead to New Waxchester and craft different products, which will down the road will have meaning to it. You also see additional projects jumping in here. I don't think I can see it from here, but up on this giant hill here, there's a castle that goes along with castles. If you come over to the town square, Nefty is there. You have other blockchains that are starting to get involved. It's just a great addition and a lot more to come with New Waxchester and Farming Tales in general. That is why right now it is at number 3 on my list and holding steady at number 3. Number 2 is a familiar face, Taco. They had a Cryptia come out recently, which is a season-based strategy style, I should say skill style game where you play cards against basically you're getting attacked by monsters. They also have the utility behind it all. They have the click to earn brigade. They have the swap that's involved. They just have so much utility, and it's quality utility. It's not just they're throwing out crap and seeing if it sticks to the wall. They are putting out quality. They continue to work very hard, very much involved in the community. That's why I think this is number 2, and it's holding solid. It was very close to moving up to number 1 on my list just because of everything that they do. But I do have to say number 1 on my list has really, really got my attention here over the last few months. And if you don't know which one it is, and you don't look at the top and read the menu up here, you have to probably guess that it's Realm. I've been doing weekly videos on Realm. It is seasonal strategy-based game. It's got so much dynamic to it. It's not one set thing. It's not whales coming in and taking over everything. It's not one strategy conquers everything. There's so many different strategies. There's so much community involved. It is one of the few games where I'm playing it and I'm talking to a lot of people, and we're not only just strategizing together, but we're also competing against each other to try and beat each other in the rankings. But it's a fun atmosphere. You do have the whales that sit on the top, but the whales also have really good strategies along with it. So it's not they're just dumping wax into it and they'll succeed and win the gold league. They also have to have a good strategy. And every single season that comes out adds a twist. So you can't just copy and paste your strategy from last season. They have some big changes coming here in season 6. that are you're gonna have to do some additional strategies. I really like skill strategy based games on Wax because there's very few of them. It's very entertaining. I'm excited for the season to kick off here in a few days. I hope you are too. They are number one on my list for the first time since I started doing this list. So they finished 2022 as number one on my games of Wax games. I hope you all enjoy this. Again, if you want to go ahead in the comments down below, let me know which games I may have missed. I did take Splinterlands off the list because every single time I do Splinterlands, I get a number of people actually saying that it's not a Wax game, it's just connected to Wax. So that's the reason why Splinterlands is no longer on the top 10 list. It's still a great game, still card-based game, still a lot of fun. A lot of people just didn't think it was an official Wax game, so I wanted to remove it from there. Let me know if there's any other games that you think I may have missed. Also, what's your order? What are your top 5 games in order? Let me know. Start with number 1, go down to number 5. Let me know how I may have messed it up. Again, this is my personal opinion. This is what I personally find entertaining on Wax. Trying to get as detailed as possible in these games, trying to add new games, give you honorable mentions. Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Have great holidays. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.